Hi, it's Ricky from RSL Designs. I want to do a very quick tutorial today on the export routines and settings that we use for 3D Coat and taking that into Lightwave 2015.3 specifically for rendering inside of Octane Renderer. So let's crack on. Okay, so here we are inside of 3D Coat, version 4.835. This is a set of Beats headphones that I've modelled, and I've recently spent a few minutes texturing them with smart materials. Some are free and default with 3D Coat, some I've purchased and some I've made myself. I was just going for a sort of wood, ancient wood, polished wood effect, and I'm now ready to export those settings out to Lightwave 3D. So we use the export objects and textures setting, and within there I have a setup already set up for the types of texture maps that I want to export. Because we're going to be using the universal material node inside of Octane Renderer, that uses a roughness metalness workflow. So we're going to export albedo, which is basically your colour, your metalness, your roughness, your normal. I'm also going to export a glossy map as well, and I'll show you why when we come to importing that into Lightwave. So what we'll do is we'll click on OK, and that will export the textures. This is one that I set up myself. It's very easy to set up. All you have to do is pick PBR metalness. That pretty much brings in all the ones that you're going to need. You then take off the ones that you don't need, and then you can add in your own if you wish. So we want glossiness, we'll just call it glossy, and we'll choose RGB, and RGB, and then we'll just save the presets as a new preset. Okay, with that in mind, I'm going to now move over to Lightwave. Okay, so we're now in Lightwave 2015.3. This is a scene that I've set up, and it just has a camera in it, and the camera depth of field is controlled by a null, just with an item shape, and I can move that null about wherever I want, and that will be where the depth of field will lie for the camera. I've got sliders for aperture and aperture edge, and they are linked to the thin lens camera within the Octane Render Target menu. And let's open up IPR. Okay, and you can see from that I've already brought in some of the textures for other materials for this headset, and I've just left one blank for you so I can show you how I set up my textures within Octane Renderer. So let's shift and click on the material, and at the moment it's blank. And to save myself time, what I do is I already save out nodes. So there's a standard albedo, metal, roughness setup, and that will bring in all the required nodes, universal material node, and I just need to plug it into the material for the Lightwave node. And you can see straight away that's updated. So all that is, that's the albedo, plugged into albedo, the metalness plugged into metallic. This is what I spoke about earlier in the video, which is this is the gloss texture map plugged into the spec for the universal material. It just allows me to tone down the reflections, the light a bit. If I take that off, you can see it's quite reflective. There we go, and that sort of just tones it down a bit, and we can go into that if we want, and we can dial that down even further. Okay, and it just allows you to control that a bit better, or you can remove it completely and just have your full roughness metallic workflow. Okay, a quick tip for you when you're using nodes inside of Lightwave 2015. This is something I found out a while ago, but I thought I'd share it. If you have all of your nodes set up so they're open and you can see all the inputs and the outputs, I would usually grab the output and pop it into the correct node for the correct input in the node, and so on and so on. What I found out recently is if it's minimized so you can't see any of the information, you can click and drag on the bottom right hand corner and do it that way instead. Now that tends to work okay for nodes that have a single output. It doesn't work very well for nodes that have multiple outputs. But for image maps inside of Octane, that tends to be the case, that they only have a single output node, and that works quite well. Let's go back over to 3D Coat and have a look at the export preset for Lightwave 2018. I believe, like I said earlier, I believe this comes with the latest install of 3D Coat, but it may have been a preset that I made myself. But you can copy the settings, so it's just albedo, metalness, roughness, normal map, spec, and spec tint. And if you were to export all of those out, if we do that, let's make them. We'll just do them as TIFFs so that they don't interfere with the other ones from the previous export. And I'll click on OK, and we'll be back in a minute to see how that looks in Lightwave 2019/2018. Okay, so I'm in the demo version of Lightwave 2019, and I've just imported the Beats headset again and left you a blank material, so we can go in and import the nodes. And they are all the images, the image maps that came out of 3D Coat's export routine earlier. And I've just linked them in to the principled BSDF node within Lightwave 2019. Let's pop that into material. And there you go. Let's let that render out. Focus rendering on mouse. There we go. And you see we get a similar look to what we had in 3D Coat and what we had in Lightwave 2015 with rendering inside of Octane Renderer. Okay, so thank you for watching, listening. Hope you found that informative, of use. If there's something I've done wrong or something you would do differently, by all means add them to the comments on Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.